Hey everyone, welcome back. This is Erin, and this is Thrive Yoga Fit Transformational Coaching. So, I've had a fucking tough week. How are you? Sunday, I was coming back from taking my best friend Anik to the Korean spa for her birthday, and we got scrubbed and we ate delicious Korean food, and we're having an amazing day, and it was really sweet. We're having lots of bonding moments, and we were coming back from the spa, and we stopped at a stop sign, looked both ways, and went to go, and I just got full force hit by somebody that was coming. They had the right of way. It was completely my fault. It was, it was a mistake. It was an accident. These things happen. My airbags deployed and my neck whipped around, and, Anik got thrown around too. We both got whiplash, which if you're watching this on video form, I have yoga to thank for that. So I'm relatively unscathed. I've had some minor headaches, but I'm able to, take clients. I'm able to coach. I'm able to do yoga. I haven't lifted any heavy weights. It's Thursday. That happened Sunday. So I think that's just being smart. But overall, I'm pretty healthy. So, I hadn't been in an accident in 10 years, minus this year. This year is the year of accidents for me. And so, just again, I'm human. I made a terrible call, and I was like, oh, collision, whatever, my car's paid off, and it's been paid off for a couple of years. Why do I need this? I don't get in accidents. And it's, I was trying to save money. I was like, oh, I'm smart. I'm an entrepreneur. And, up until this point, it wasn't really an issue. But now it is. I got the estimate for my car. It's $9,000. So it's all right, well, my car's totaled. So yeah, I'm coming to you with all that happening. And I recognize it's a shitty situation, but I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be here. If you listen back a couple of episodes, you'll know that Matt and I had a gun pulled on us. This accident happened, and I'm here for a reason. I have a purpose. I love what I do. I get to help a lot of people, process real, serious, difficult traumas that nobody else seems to be able to help them with. And not only that, is I empower people with tools to be able to do it on their own. And in the meantime, I'm a guiding light for people. And I'm so grateful to be able to do the work that I do. I'm so grateful that I have the skill set, and that I can also channel this wisdom and connect with them in a way that allows what they need to hear to come through. And I get to watch them heal, and I'm very grateful. So, it's been a rough year. Yoga studios around me are struggling. In my studio, I've really taken a deep dive into our processes and our systems. And so a lot of things are improving, but it's been a rough year financially, certainly. Even with, I have wonderful programs, coaching programs and things. It's just everything's saturated on the internet. So we've had to really revamp, and hired a new marketing person who's amazing. But things are tight. Things are a little bit tough. And I just wanted to share that with you. Sometimes circumstances are just a bit challenging. And for me, I try to find the lesson in it. It's how can you expect to go through life without some, mistakes happening, some accidents happening? It's kind of built in, right? If everything was happening perfect all the time, there's this sort of egoic sense of control that we have that, well, no, this is how my life is. When I had the gun pulled on me, I remember looking over, I was like, this is off script. Literally my mind said that. This is off script. What script? What script? That's just my ego being oh, if you do this, you do this. So I'm not saying that just don't be a good person because, fuck it anyway. You could get a gun pulled on you, you can get in a car accident and die. But, nothing is guaranteed in life. And so, I like to try to show up as much as I can and do this work and share and guide. And I always try to be authentic with you. This whole experience has made me look at my life and just maybe some things that I'm doing, like maybe I wasn't focused for a while, and maybe there's some reasons behind that. My neck was hurting for almost a year. And during that time, I decided to get a medical marijuana card. And I would use it, a couple times a week. And then there was a time where I was using it almost every day. And I gave myself grace during that time because I was in a lot of pain. And only recently did that go away. Like, it finally healed. I went to a chiropractor, and with problem solving between me and my acupuncturist friend, we decided, it's the first rib head. Got it popped in. And then I've been working out the little kinks since then. So I give myself grace because I was just desperate. I was I need something. I'm doing all the other things, right? I'm meditating, I'm doing yoga, I'm working out, I'm coaching myself, I'm working through the emotions. But, I also have a lot of things that I have to attend to, or that I choose to tend to, right? Like owning a brick and mortar studio with about 10 instructors underneath the roof. Being of service to community, and then also engaging in activities, having a social life, right? So I try to engage in all of it. And I take care of myself and I pace myself, but things happen, right? Hormones shift, stress levels go up and down. And so now I was completely sober when the car accident happened. And but it made me sort of look at some of the things that I had been doing, that because maybe my reaction time was slowed, or maybe my vision isn't as good as it could be. I always try to pull things in and look at that. And, it's sort of made me realize that I don't need any of that anymore. And I had reduced it a lot when my neck started being out of pain. I started taking something called lemon balm, which is an herb that really helps to lower stress, and it helps to increase the GABA in your brain, which is a neurotransmitter. And it has a calming effect. And when you're calm, at least for me, I can focus a lot better. So yeah, this whole experience with just having things happen in my life that's sort of off script, I try to have as much accountability as I possibly can. I try to use these experiences as a way to look at myself and see, okay, now things do happen. Mistakes happen, accidents happen, but what is my role here? What is my role? What can I change? What can I shift? And how can I be the best possible version of me? Not because I have to be, because I choose to be. I was just being coached a good friend yesterday. And we were talking about how I have bhakti. I have a devotional love to my students. They mean so much to me. I love to see my students access and work through their pain, their struggles, their traumas, because I have and I do that work. And when I can offer them tools and then see that they receive those tools and then they actually use them in their lives, not just with me, but away from me, it means the world to me, because I know that I'm making a difference in people's lives. I know that I have a purpose, and I feel so honored and grateful to be able to do the work that I do. So in that coaching session, we were getting into some of my deeper stuff. And one of the things that came up was I have this sort of black lacquered box that was locked away inside of me, of just my dark. And my friend, who is also my student, she went through my course. We started moving energy through my body. By the way, her name's Melissa, because I want to give her credit. Hi, Melissa. And there was a spot where the energy couldn't flow through. And so we just kind of hung out there for a while. And as I hung out there long enough, all of a sudden a voice came through. And it was Matt's voice. And it said, your dark has a place. Your dark has a place. And when that came through that black lacquered box, it sort of like became melty and integrated with the rest of my body. And so the dark didn't disappear, but it integrated with me. So I told Matt this, and he was like, aw. But he was also like, do you remember when you were in the kitchen, like, I don't know, X months ago, and I said that to you? Because that's just the way his brain works. He can remember that. And he's like, remember I was like petting you on the back in the kitchen? I was like, no. But apparently there's a part of my brain that did hear. And so my dark has a place. Like, I can make mistakes. I'm human. I can get into an accident, like not like I want to or I seek that, but I can forgive myself for that. And I can know that sometimes that stuff happens. You know, that's the play of like karma and lila. So karma is, you know, the cause and effect, right? One thing leads to another. And that's where my like accountability comes in. I'm like, what can I do to change things? How can it be more clear? You know, do I need to get glasses? Like I thought about all this because it wasn't just me, but it was my friend and it was her birthday and I felt horrible about it. But luckily, I was hit on my side because I would never ever change that around. And luckily we're both relatively okay. We have some whiplash again, but so there's the karma aspect, but then there's lila. So lila is sort of like the cosmic, sort of like hit the pool balls and just watch them. So there's a force behind it, certainly, but it's seemingly kind of random just to kind of shake it up. As Todd Norian would say in his book about Tantra, karma explains what happens in the universe until it doesn't. And that's, you know, making peace with that and integrating my dark and my light on this yogic journey. And if you've been listening to this podcast, I've been doing this like 10 years. Like 10 years. Isn't that crazy? So as I'm on this yogic path, I'm learning how to integrate with myself more and more. I'm learning how to accept and not beat myself up. Or if I do, I don't do it as long. And I accept these pieces of me because it's all lessons. Like, sure, okay, maybe now I need to get a new car. I'm just like, ugh. But like, you know, that's just part of the process. And honestly, like with all that happening and new bills coming in, I'm more motivated than ever to really put my best foot forward. And especially because, you know, I kind of want to throw away my medical marijuana card. I haven't touched it in probably about a week. But it's just like, did that make me cloudy? You know, did that affect my reaction time? Even though I haven't had it in a while, like, did that make me slow down to where I put my friend's life in danger and my life in danger? Like, was that a thing? Now, if you've been listening to this podcast from the beginning, you also know that I started this podcast with the name of Thriving Empowered Serenity, and then it went to Thriving After Addiction, and then it went to Thrive Yoga Fit Transformational Coaching. So I respect everyone else's beliefs around substance, and I think that, it certainly can have a hold on people, but I do believe that these substances are neutral, and I think that it's the pain and the unaddressed, stuck energy within that sort of latches onto it. And that's my belief. This is my podcast. If you don't agree with it, okay, that's fine. And, we can have a discussion about it. But I do believe that like plant medicine and these things do have their place. I do believe that. And I think that when I was in pain with my neck, I think that it had its place to keep me sane. Because I was in so much pain every day. And it was affecting my digestion. It was affecting my health and my immune system. And so it helped. That being said, now is the time to move away from that because I don't need it. I don't need to lean on it. I have other ways to do these, like I said, I'm drinking lemon balm now, lemon balm tea. It is delicious, by the way. If you've never tried it, it is super calming. And I drink it before bed. And I've really, been working on my evening rituals, and that's one of the things that I do. So this podcast has turned into a little bit of a sort of a confession, I guess, a little bit of acknowledgement, and your dark has a place because we're always learning lessons here. I never come on here and try to say that I'm perfect and that I don't make mistakes and that I don't fuck up, because I do, right? I make bad judgment calls. Like, obviously, I don't know what happened. Like, my friend nor I saw this person, and it's like, okay, maybe I need glasses. I'm going to go get my eyes checked again. Maybe the cloudiness from all that time spent, using marijuana, to help with my pain, maybe even, after a week of not doing that, maybe that still clouded me. And that is a real possibility, right? Or maybe it's little slices of each of those things. And then there's also the play of lila. It's just like random. Like when my mom died, I remember thinking, I can't believe this happened. This isn't supposed to happen. I'm supposed to be able to watch my mom grow old. I'm supposed to take care of her. I'm supposed to be able to watch her fade in front of me and be able to love her as she falls apart. So I didn't get that. So things are difficult sometimes, but I'm grateful for the tools that I have. I'm grateful for the support. I'm grateful that I have so many people that love me. My dark has a place, and so does yours. You can make mistakes, and maybe it's not your favorite thing, but you can turn it around and just, it's sort of like a cha-cha, right? Two steps forward, one step back. That's how the cha-cha goes, right? But it's all a part of the beautiful tapestry of life, in these epic books that we read in texts, like the Iliad, the Odyssey, the Mahabharata. It's like there's the characters, like a lot of them are flawed, and that's what makes them interesting, right? So at the very least, I'm very interesting. All right, well, my nose is starting to run and I want to grab a tissue. So I'm going to wrap this up, this very vulnerable podcast. So I hope that you still love me and accept me. I hope that you don't judge me, but if you do, that's okay too. I'm just here to be real. And, I am using my tools to process this and discern. And rather than shame and blame myself, which would feel terrible and I don't think would really solve much, I'm actually spacing things out and looking at different things and considering and using my reasoning abilities within me to make changes and refinements in my life. So I hope that maybe you heard this podcast and it's just what you needed to hear, or maybe you skipped over it. But either way, if you've been listening for a while, thank you. If you're a new listener, thank you. And I love you. Thank you so much. Namaste. Thank you so much for listening. If you want to support the podcast and if it's helping you, please consider writing a review. You can go to iTunes or Google Play, go into the search bar and type in Thrive Yoga Fit Transformational Coaching, scroll down, and you can leave a review. This helps other people to find me as well as bumps us up in the search ratings. Also, this podcast is sponsor-free, so that means we don't receive anything for doing it. If you feel so inclined and this podcast is helping to support you and you want to return the favor and help to support any production costs of the podcast, feel free to give a donation to a Venmo link, Thrive Yoga Fit, or PayPal, Erin@erincoach.com. If you don't have the means, don't worry about it. We're not going anywhere. You're all good. But if you would like to give back, you can give back in those ways. Thank you so much. Namaste.